Hello everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR here. I'm getting ready to show you the video from Shadow of the Tomb Raider with ray tracing turned on. Um, I was going to separate the benchmarks from the side-by-side RTX on, RTX off, but I'm going to go ahead and put the benchmarks in there for the ray tracing in 4K and in 1440p and with DLSS. Um, the first thing I want to tell you is that I don't believe that the Shadow of the Tomb Raider is implementing the ray tracing properly. It still seems like there's baked shadows being rendered when you enable ray tracing. Now, I'm sure that maybe in some cases you can do that, but it just seems like that the shadows that are being rendered in the game are not functioning properly when you have ray tracing on. Like if you have two light sources, you're supposed to have shadows in both directions, and it's just not happening in the game in a lot of areas. So I think that they need to tweak it more. Um, but the game does, at least for me, um, runs fine with ray tracing turned on, even though I may not be hitting 60 frames per second. Um, the game looks good. It looks better than the regular 4K gaming. So that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of people out there that like to, you know, for some reason hate on Nvidia, which I don't understand that, being that they're one of the ones out there who are innovating. AMD has brought nothing to the table. Um, so I'm not sure what all the complaints are. We should be happy about technology. Um, but anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I'm putting the benchmarks uh, in this video, and I apologize for it being a little bit longer. Um, the gameplay video itself is, nothing fancy. I'm not explaining things, like other people do with circling things in both videos. You be the judge. You look at the videos and see if you could tell a difference. That's why they're there. You know, I think all of you guys are intelligent, and you got to stop limiting, you know, yourselves to just trusting in these YouTubers and their word. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, me personally, I've gotten much different results than what some of the YouTubers out there tell us, especially when they're being overly negative all the time about a particular thing. That's not good for consumers, and it's not good for the companies who make products. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to say that. Um, Now I'm going to render the video in 4K, so I hope that doesn't kind of mess up the whole purpose of it. Um, but again, the game was looking fine with ray tracing turned on. I didn't see any strange anomalies. You might see some in the video because you're kind of focused more on it than I was, because when you're recording it in game, you're not paying attention to every little thing that's going on. So anyway, thanks for watching. The next clip is going to be the video card that I'm using, which is the RTX 2080 Ti. Alright, thanks, bye. Hi everybody, Game Cooker US Rocks VR here. I'm just getting ready to try Shadow of the Tomb Raider with the ray tracing and DLSS. It's the first game that I'm able to try out on my own because I don't have the other games that use it. So just to show you here, I have a RTX 2080 Ti. It's an Asus brand. I got the GPU clocked up at 122. The memory's plus 694. The GPU voltage is up to plus 27, which is not 27 volts. I don't believe it's. I believe it's a fraction. So it's like 27 milliamps or something like that. I believe, or millivolts. So I do have the fan curves set to my own settings. So because I have this clocked up, they're always running at least plus 37, 38. I didn't get it perfectly there. Power target percentage is turned all the way up to 120, which is the farthest it can go on this particular card through this app. I just turned the GPU temperature all the way up to 88 because it's never going to get up that high, so I'm not worried about it. But they can handle 88 degrees, so that's not really a problem. I didn't lock the frame rate because even though it goes all the way up to 200, it's still kind of like changes the way the card might behave, so I just leave it at 0 and then let the game, or the onboard bias of the card deal with the boost clock and all that. And then this XG station doesn't really matter. So here's what GPU-Z in this particular app is telling us here. So the memory it's saying is up to 1837 megahertz, and the boost clock I have it turned up. Well, the GPU clock is up to 1472 now, and right now it's showing the boost at 757. But that doesn't usually. This number really doesn't matter anymore because the video card will adjust the boost clock according to the load that's on it. So this might go up to 2025, when you're playing a game. So I wouldn't worry about that number too much. So anyway, this is the card that I'm using, and I'm going to try the Shadow of the Tomb Raider with ray tracing. So let's get started here. Now I'm going to be recording this while I'm, doing the testing. So it might take somewhat of a frame rate hit. I mean, it probably won't be much. So I put everything on the highest. Here's ray trace shadow quality. Oh, they have that already in there. Nice. Like, I don't care about motion blur or bloom. The other thing that I noticed in another application is this tessellation. I don't recommend turning it off, because when I was doing the ray trace demo on 3D Mark, when I turned the tessellation off, it didn't really make a difference in the performance. In fact, I think it made it worse. Because remember, this tessellation is not using your ray trace cores. Okay, it's using the CUDA cores, and whatever else it uses. It's not using the tensor or the RT cores. So I would say leave this on if you want it to look better. Again, I'm just stating this from what I've noticed by YouTube videos and the ray trace demo on the 3D Mark. So it doesn't really show anything about level of detail. I'm going to put it on Ultra. Now, I don't know why HDR can't be checked, because I might have the HDR turned off on my TV, so it may not be detecting this as an HDR monitor, but that's fine. We don't really need that on for ray tracing either. So that's it. So I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to start. Alright, so I'm going to run some benchmarks. Benchmarks first for Tomb Raider, with and without ray tracing. So ray trace off. Yeah, okay, good. So we'll just run the benchmark once that way. Now, mind you, these benchmarks are running while I'm recording, so there is going to be some frame loss there. 4K with ray tracing and DLSS, except this time I'm turning on VSync. So I'm putting VSync on, and I'm going to see if that does anything to smooth anything out. I'm not sure. So this is regular 4K. Okay. Depth of field off, bloom off, motion blur off, pure hair is on, ray tracing is off. So we're going to go ahead and run the benchmark. Okay, this is the 1440p test. 1440p VSync I'm going to turn off. I'm not going to bother doing a VSync run on the 1440. DLSS is off right now, and ray tracing is off. So this is just a regular 1440p run. Okay, so there you have it. Um, Now the benchmark is definitely doesn't perform as well as the game itself. Um, the benchmark seems to be a lot more hard on the video card for some reason. Um, but as you noticed, the regular 4K looked pretty good. Um, when I turned the ray tracing on, it took a pretty decent performance hit. Um, and then with the ray tracing and DLSS, you pretty much got back about 20 frames or so, 20 to 25 frames per second back when enabling DLSS in 4K. And then I did the VSync, which seemed to definitely smooth it out. Obviously, with the it took away the tearing, and it seemed like that it ran pretty good in the 4K at around 60 frames per second. And then when I turned on the ray tracing with the VSync, it actually ran pretty smooth, So even at the 35 frames per second, visually, for me, it may look different as a video, you watching the video, but me looking at it on my screen, it was smooth. So that really improved the situation a lot, putting the VSync on, especially when it got back up into the 45 to 50 frames per second area. So definitely playable with VSync on, or maybe if you have adaptive sync, that might even be better. I don't have a monitor to test that on, but definitely the VSync helps to smooth it out. And then, of course, with the VSync on, with the DLSS, it was a better situation. It was a little bit better. With the VSync on, it's still going to keep it around that 60 frames per second. It was a little higher than that, but to be honest with you, I would prefer to have the DLSS off. I would rather play at the 40 to 50 frames per second at full resolution than have another 15 frames per second at a lower resolution. It still looks good, but I still think the true 4K with the ray tracing looks the best. And then, of course, at 1440p, regular 1440 ran very well. And then with the ray tracing on, it ran around 60 frames per second, which was surprising, but it was 55 to 65 frames per second, so that was pretty good. So definitely 1440p with an RTX 2080 Ti is a real sweet spot if you want to play at 1440. And then, of course, when I turned on the DLSS, it didn't work as well for that 1440p resolution because it's not really made for that. The DLSS is really made when you're running your games at 4K. So you're gonna get a little bit of kind of blur in some scenes if you enable DLSS at 1440p. But since it was running at 60 frames per second, I don't really think that you need to turn on DLSS at 1440p. So this game, definitely with the benchmark, is playing with ray tracing on at 60 frames per second, and at 4K with ray tracing turned on, it ranges from 30 with VSync on. It ranges from 35 to 55 frames per second. So 35 frames per second. That's like the worst case scenario. Seemed like it was, running higher than that. I'm gonna do some regular gameplay video with the ray tracing on, and I already did some earlier, and I already have the videos made. When you're playing the game, the ray tracing runs better when you're playing the regular game versus the benchmark. So take the benchmark for a grain of salt. It's kind of harder on it for some reason. And the other thing that I noticed about this game is it's not really doing the ray tracing properly. I think what it's happening is it's running the rasterization and the ray tracing at the same time. And you'll see it in the regular gameplay. I was still having a lot of baked-in shadows showing up when you're supposed to have ray trace shadows. Or they were mixed, like overlapping. So I think that was just why the performance was not as good as I was expecting for a slower game. So I think they need to work on that. They need to definitely optimize this because it's not running the ray tracing properly. And also the ray trace shadows are not even rendering in some areas where they should be, where you have two light sources, one from this way and one from this way. You're supposed to have two shadows, right? And still, when I'm in the game, there's only one shadow in one direction. So that's definitely not correct. I'm not a developer, but just from what I know about ray tracing, it doesn't seem like it's proper. Anyway, Game Cooker US Rock signing off. Bye. Alright, so I'm just going to play the game normal. I already showed you what settings I had, so I'm just going to start a new game. And then what we'll do is I'll just walk through the main. I'm putting everything on easy just so I can get through everything fairly quickly. This option enables ray trace shadows using DirectX. Okay. Medium enables DXR shadows for selected. High will enable additional spot and directional lights, including the sun, replacing traditional shadow maps. Ultra improves this by adding translucent shadows at a significant performance cost. Wonder if I should do Ultra. What the heck, let's do Ultra. We're not doing DLSS, so let's just do Ultra and see what happens here. So, load game. I'm going to start at the caves, and we'll see how much of a hit this takes. Okay, so this is ray tracing on.
Jonah, I'm out. Be careful, the way into the site is full of traps.
Trinity's not done with it yet.
They're protecting something.
6 weeks, and still no solid leads on who's leading the local Trinity cell. But I talked to some people in town, and they're excited. There's a VIP coming to the Day of the Dead. Name's Dominguez. We should look into it.
Should things look a little crisper. I don't know about the shadows, but find out. Seems like things look better. At least to me. The lighting looks more natural, I guess. Definitely looks better.
Jonah, I made it.
I'm on my way in. Almost there.
Sorry I didn't wait. Be careful.
Just looks crisper and I don't know. The colors are more deep. Laura looks more natural. I think the ray tracing works during the cutscenes too, or at least at certain points. Like right there.
Beautiful.
I think her shadowing looks a little different there. The flashing of the camera I think looks more
Laura!
natural, I think.
Wow. Get a load of this place. Guess all that research paid off. Now we know what Trinity is after.
Yeah, they really didn't want us in here.
I'm glad we followed your father's notes.
Mm-hmm.
I saw where the passage collapsed on you back there. You want me to take a look at that wound?
No, I'm fine.
What is all this?
Constellations. This inscription is some sort of riddle. Pink fish.
Pink fish.
Silver-crowned mountain.
Yeah, I think like the shadow on her legs. I mean, I could be
There's
just.
a date here.
I have to look at the side by side.
Something's off. Looks like it was damaged, perhaps intentionally.
Why would Trinity sabotage this?
That doesn't look
We
much
usually
different
just destroy
there.
everything.
No, I think the damage is older. But who would have tampered with it?
Laura! We gotta get out of here. Laura!
I have to get this.
Come on! Move! Move!
Hurry!
Come on!
If you hadn't dragged me out, I'd still be in there taking pictures.
We'd still be in there. Don't know if you'd be doing much.
Jonah.
Hey, you want to freshen up? Regroup at the cafe? Dr. Dominguez is supposed to be there tonight.
Sounds good. I'll try and decipher the riddle, see if the date has anything to do with it.
Right. Pink fish, Silver Crown Mountains, I'll look into it. By the way, this cafe is supposed to have really good food.
Definitely looks better.
Y'all know
That's for
anything about
sure.
that?
It's not for tourists.
Definitely looks better.
Maria invited me. You know her? She's my cousin. My abuela, she was from here. Don't look like it. Rest her soul. I wanted to make like an offering. What's that thing you do with the blankets? All right. You know what? I can see you guys are busy. I won't waste any more of your time. Y'all keep on trucking. Thanks for your service. Keeping us safe.
Jonah, I'm in.
Good. Those guards weren't at the gate earlier. Dominguez must suspect something.
So here you can see shadows casting that way. No shadow casting that way. So that's why I was saying it doesn't seem to be accurate. There's no shadows coming off those candles. But there's something coming off of that. So the lights there inside the holes are what's working. Only certain ones. So that's kind of weird that they did that. Each candle should be its own light.
Excuse me.
Oh boy, which way did I go here? So it's what, 50 frames per second, depending on which way you're looking. Like if I'm looking at all those lights over there, it goes down to 44. If I'm looking at the ones behind me, it's 68. So it's not bad actually. I mean, if I had VSync on, it'd be a lot smoother.
Did you make contact with the High Council, Commander?
Yes, sir. Even after the fiasco in Brazil. No one questions your leadership of the organization.
We've come too far to stop now.
Yes, sir. They're ready for anything.
We never made it to our honeymoon.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Perhaps I will make the trip alone.
So you can see the fabric on the her outfit there, which is pretty nice looking. Again, it seems like some of it's working. Some of the lighting's working, but some of it's not. These candles are just, you know, they're not really putting out lights per se. There's a light there. So yeah, there's too much rasterization still going on here. Baked in lighting.
Jonah, Dominguez is not just the leader of the cell. I think he's the leader of Trinity.
We need to be careful.
I'm kidding.
Laura,
Yeah, I heard you.
Definitely looks better though, in my opinion.
Sí. Disculpe, señorita.
My fault.
Fireworks don't glow. They only light up above. But they don't light up Laura's face. They should be very bright. See, there's nothing. It's only like high up in the sky.
Someone set off a trap at the first site. We think it was Croft.
Wait,
What's wrong?
I want confirmation, Commander. No more guessing.
I'll make sure we get visual confirmation.
Jonah, they might have noticed me. I'll try the back alley.
I'll find another way around.
Todos lo saben.
See, this isn't casting really a shadow there either. That should be casting something.
You can never be too safe. You're very gracious. Thank you.
We should go.
See, the light is on my face there. And when you walk here, it's not there anymore. So yeah, they gotta definitely work on getting this right. Because this guy was casting a shadow too. And you can see there's a soft shadow there now. He's always looking at somebody. Stop looking at everybody.
Yeah, this is Commander Rourke.
See the lighting on the
Dominguez
rocks?
wants confirmation
Looks pretty
Croft is
good.
here. You have the photo. Female, Caucasian, early 20s. You got that?
Well,
Good. They'll find her.
good. I don't want anyone getting in there.
Here there's a shadow. But there should be two shadows here. There's a like when you first get right here, like there's a shadow, but there's no shadow from the other light. So
Hey, get out of my office.
Sorry.
Close the door when you leave.
Right.
it's very annoying the way this keeps wanting to rotate backwards.
Lo siento.
Don't worry. Go, play.
The readings at the site are unlike anything we've ever seen.
It's the key to our next phase.
I think the lighting
This
here
is
looks
it.
better.
We'll be ready.
Then you got the moonlight here, which you can see on my mask and my shirt, I guess. Pretty good. And then through the cloth here. Although I don't know if that's what it looks like anyway.
Jonah, they've entered the dig site. It's fenced off and there's a guard at the gate. I'll find another way in.
I found a good spot. I'll watch the perimeter.
I didn't even see that guy up there. See the light in the puddle here. Again, you don't see the you see the shadow there, but you don't see this shadow. You should see this shadow. You don't see this one until you get kind of right under it. So something's, yeah, it's just not really doing it properly. They don't have the shade. They don't have it right. So, like I said, the game looks better. I mean, it's doing some of it properly, but you still got the other.
There's got to be more to these ruins. A Maya pyramid inside some sort of cave.
This definitely looks better,
Get to the ruins. Should be far enough out of
in
your
my
shot.
opinion.
No, please. Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
The way the light and shading is.
It's your own fault. No witnesses. No! Please, no!
Squealing must run in your family.
Please, no! Would you get it over with already? They want us back ASAP. Hey, final words. Wait. I'm a government official. I'm supposed to be here. Not anymore. Mr. Lead Archaeologist. Your employment has been terminated.
Please, no.
I won't hurt you. You work for Trinity. What did they find?
Well, they've been searching for a temple entrance for many years. Today they found it. I have to go warn my sister. She's on her way here now.
Jonah, Trinity just tried to kill a local archaeologist.
Oh, God.
I have to find what they're looking for.
So I think the moonlight looks a little more natural. The only thing that I notice from, because I played this already, is the blacks are a little washed out. But that I think is on the regular too, but just looks a little pastel-y. But the moonlight definitely is, I think, rendering properly. Now you can see, like, when she goes over here, she's got the moonlight on her. She's casting a shadow.
I know this figure. Ishal, the goddess of the full moon. Oh, and this is Shakshal, the new moon. There's an inscription. Shakshal, the key lies beyond her gaze. The key. This is it. The entrance must be down there. Got to make my way down.
Definitely think it looks better without the bloom and depth of field. I mean, you can see that the mountain in the background is more detailed. It definitely looks better I mean, it's hard to know exactly why it looks better, except in certain things just look more crisp, you know? And the, you know, the shadows from the plants there look more natural. You know, Laura's got a shadow obviously from the moon. I mean, I'm running at 43 frames per second here, and then when I look at the foliage over there, it's 37 to 39. And then this way goes all the way up to 47, so not bad. Pretty good, I think. You know? 40 to 50 frames per second. It's not too bad. Anyway, that's it for that. Ray tracing on. Looks good. Okay, everybody. Game Cooker US Rock signing off. Love you guys. Bye.